Hi, I'm Mike. Welcome back to the shop. My next project is to modify and upgrade the wiring system of this 1977 Triumph Spitfire. I had a bit of an issue a little while ago where I had some of that famous Lucas smoke show up. It kind of scared me and made me think about long and hard about what do I currently have in the car and can I do something better that's safer and more reliable. So I'll show you the modifications I'm making throughout this series of videos, and I'll take you through step by step what I'm doing, some of the decisions I'm making, and how I'm approaching rewiring this car. I hope you enjoy it. The first step I took was to remove all of the existing main body harness as well as the rear body harness or the rear light harness. A lot of this is still intact, but it's a real mess. There may be damage to some of this wiring, I just can't see it. I will do what I can to salvage as much of the wiring as possible. As you can see, I've got some wiring here that's just that kind of stuff scares me. I've had the wiring that was just bare sitting in the bottom of the floor on the interior, so probably wasn't something that was working because I wasn't experiencing any difficulty, but never know what's running through those wires. So as you can see on the main harness, this is in pretty good shape. There's been some modifications done to it over time. I did some of that myself. I learned from what I did, and I think I can apply that learning. One of the things that I do want to try to do is to salvage as much of the connectors as possible. There's lots of reasons for doing that, and the main reason is all the switches are currently wired up with these types of connectors. So it's cheaper, it's more effective, I think, to scavenge the connectors and use them. So I'm going to try that to begin with without having to spend a lot of money on new fittings. So that's what we've got so far. The three main switches are situated on the steering column in this year of Triumph Spitfire. As you can see, the connectors are all still in place. As I said earlier, I'm going to scavenge the connectors as much as possible and line them up, all the wiring. I'm going to maintain the wire code, color code as much as possible or as much as practical. I've already purchased the new wiring for that. You can see we've already had a couple of fuse taps or line taps that were put in on this particular wire harness. I'll remove those as a part of this process. So the only thing I haven't taken off yet is the engine harness. It's still partially connected to the coil, and you can see that's pretty much it. The coil to the dizzy. That's all that's remaining. In the front, I do have the light harnesses going to the running lights and the turn signals, so those are still mounted in. And I've got a bit of a mess up here. Lots of splices going into the headlight wiring harnesses, so that will be significantly cleaned up. It's just really hard to get to, so I've got to take some time to do that. I actually may take the bonnet right off. It's just easier to get to. Also, I have put in a electric fan. So I've got a switch connected into the heater hose. So I'm going to figure out how to connect that up. And this is a relay driven type of a setup. Looking into the dashboard, you can see, if you recognize it or have been behind your dashboard, I've removed the heater core. I live in Florida. I don't use the heater. It's just taking up space and weight, and it's something I don't want to deal with when it comes to running the wiring. So I removed it. The other thing I removed is the wiring for the windshield washer fluid. I've never used it. So again, take it out. It's not needed. So I'm just going to get rid of that feature. As you can see in the back of the dash, there's the opening for the fuse box. We'll probably be closing that off. There's a couple of other holes that have opened up because of the removal of the heater core, and they're the heater core holes, and there's one. This is where the piping for the heater core went out for on the driver's side, or sorry, left-hand drive side, and the one from the passenger side for a left-hand drive type of a model. So the other thing that you'll note on the bulkhead is I've removed the washer bottle. I don't use the washer bottle. I've never used it. So there's some really good space here to put the new relay and fuse box center. So I'm going to connect that right here. I've got the holes where the heater core piping went on either side of that, and I think I can use that to pass wiring through. So it's pretty convenient. Nice place for it to go. It's protected. Won't have to worry about hitting it. I've seen other people put it in. I think that in this spot, I think that does work, but I'm a little concerned personally about having the bonnet come down and hit it. So it's a little bit more, maybe not user-friendly, but a little safer being in this location. It's also closer to the solenoid, so the heavy wiring runs, the heavy gauge wiring runs will be a lot shorter. So there's some real distinct advantages to putting it there. So the things that I've eliminated are in the overall design is the washer bottle and the heater core. So those two things are going to be taken out of the wiring system. The other thing that's been eliminated, just because it never did anything for me, is the buzzers, the seat buzzers. I disconnected those a long time ago. I think it's annoying. So those have been taken out. So that won't be in the final design. So this is what the relay and fuse center looks like underneath the cover. You'll see this is an Eaton Bussmann RTMR. I'll provide links on the website or on the video for this and where you can purchase it from. It has spaces for 5 mini relays and 10 blade fuses. What I'm going to do is the first 2 I'm going to have is the high and low beam relays. I'm going to put one in for the electric fan. I'm going to put another in for the wash or the windshield wipers, one for low speed and one for high speed. So that's the approach I'm going to take. All the other connections, anything that is hot, always hot, will have a connection to the fuse. So I'll go through that design. I'm probably going to be making that design up as I go along, but I've got a general feeling for how I'm going to approach that. So I'll take you along my decision-making process as I do that. So I'm pretty excited about this project. I'm looking forward to learning a lot and figuring out how everything goes together from an electrical standpoint on this car. My objective is to have a car that is safe. I won't have to worry about it catching fire, that is reliable and operates the way it's supposed to, and has a little bit better performance than a 30 or 40-year-old car that has had quite frankly, some of the parts are worn and just not operating up to how it came out of the factory. So Hopefully I'll bring back some of the performance or improve the performance. I hope you like what you're going to see over the next few videos. So I hope you enjoy watching the videos. Hopefully you'll learn. And as always, your comments are welcome. I learn from the comments I get from the people that are watching the videos that I put together. And so I welcome that and welcome your input. Thank you. And, oh, please, I'm trying to continue building my channel. If you'd like what you're seeing as a part of the videos, please subscribe. That helps me to continue doing some of the things that I'm doing. So thank you.